Akshay, welcome to our value management or value consulting fireside chat. Good to see you.
Hey, hi Martin. Thank you for inviting me to Simbi's Fireside Chat. Was looking forward to it.
Likewise, it's a pleasure. Well, look, for the benefit of the audience, it would be great if you would mind giving a bit of background on yourself, a bit of your career in value consulting and what drove you to into this profession.
Sure. So I started with doing some business intelligence projects for a large IT firm. That's where I got into the data analytics and stuff. It helped me a
Was that
lot to
Infosys?
with Infosys. Yes. So that was my first stint, and post which I went for an MBA and completed my graduation in marketing and operations. And got aligned with a company which is called Interglobe, and they are into travel and hospitality domain. There I got an interesting project which was to identify the best marketing cloud available and that we can go out for, right? So I was doing my research, Adobe, Oracle, Salesforce, or independent of product offerings that are there. So in pursuit of that, I got my interest developed for the digital marketing tools, and I used to like listen to a lot of podcasts back then, and that's where I got all my information about tools, technologies, Adobe's Marketing Cloud. And one fine day, I received a call that okay, they have an opening in the value services team at Adobe, and that's where I went through a sequence of interviews, and it was pretty interesting that what kind of problem statement they were going to solve for, and it was a new domain for me. So
Had you
I
heard of
got
value services before that?
no. It was the first time when
Hmm.
I heard about the value services, but to my understanding, it was more of consulting, but that involves some
Sure.
kind of financial analysis and also creating a value story for the customer. So that was about it. I was new to it. I joined as a value consultant and learned the tricks of the trade. In our team, there were folks from who have learned things from SAP, Oracle, and other value advisory teams, and all the best
There's kind of a
practices were there.
there's this small group of companies that kind of built the best practice, right?
Yeah.
SAP, Oracle, BMC, that Workday. There's a number of these, but probably about 10 of them that really spawn a lot of the best practice today.
Correct, and that actually helped me understand that okay, this is not something which is new. It is there, but it's a very niche segment that exists within enterprise SaaS companies, and it is very much aligned with
Hmm.
consultative sales, and it helps you open up horizons around finance, marketing, strategy, sales, pre-sales, all of that. So it's an amalgamation of all these profiles. So it's not one thing, but a lot that an individual has to go through while doing value advisory. So yeah, I was there for almost 5 years. Moved to a senior value consultant role. I was heading the APAC deals when I left Adobe, and we were articulating value for Adobe's Marketing Cloud over there and a bunch of new companies that they acquired at during those years.
And
So it was
how
good.
big was your team at the time?
I would say it was a lean team which was based out of India. There were like 7, 8 individuals. However, there were folks who were spread across geography, doing
Sure.
similar projects and initiatives, but in different capacity. So that was about it. And the last I heard, the team has grown a lot. Maybe there are like 10, 12 individuals already working in that value team. So of course it's getting traction. So that was about my stint at Adobe, but it helped me go through different aspects of value advisory where I've seen transition from an Excel and PPT based model to going to a tool, automating things, and then making it more operationally efficient for the whole team to perform. All of that I learned the best practices from it. So really grateful for that stint of mine. And then I moved to Whatfix. So our CRO reached out with this requirement that their value advisory team was already there However, the person who was leading it for a while had to leave because of the COVID situation, and that's when I got roped in, and then I restarted the value advisory division here at Whatfix. So, and it has been a journey with me.
How
Whatever I learned at Adobe, I've utilized that and more. And 4 years hence, still am here and
so?
leading all the value conversations.
And do you is it an India-based company or where's the headquarters?
Yeah, it's headquartered in India. However, it has a presence in San Jose, Europe, Australia, and in Singapore as well.
And
So we
and as an
have.
Indian, yeah, as an Indian company, is value um, based out of India and then distributed in other countries with satellite teams?
So it's a very lean team here in India that supports all the sales conversation across the globe. So we have our timelines defined so that for every geography, we have a value advisor present to assist the sellers and the account managers.
Brilliant. So you mentioned something earlier that really struck a chord with me that I thought is very astute, is that the value function you see as a multi-threaded function across a company. It's not just a pre-sales. Would love for you to elaborate more on that because I think it's very valuable for the audience.
In my value advisor experience, I've seen that it's not just about calculating numbers and articulating ROI for the prospect to consider, right? It's more to address their pain points and in a way that if I'm selling you a product, I want to articulate the value of this product for you. I want to work on KPIs that are relevant to you, to the decision maker, to the budget holder, and not just something which is relevant to my product. So
Yeah,
even if it is a productivity gain for an end user that my offering delivers, I want to showcase that how that number of hours saved for an employee gets utilized for some productive work, maybe adding more revenue to the company or helping you become efficient with a lean team, all of that. So I think any value advisor has to wear multiple hats, but first of all, they have to be very inquisitive about the problem statement that you are solving for. The more you ask, the more insight you will get on, okay, where the problem statement is and how can I create an equation that actually speaks the language of my prospect and their industry and is relevant for the budget holder. So that's where like it's not just like finance having knowing the numbers, but it's more to do with how the sales is happening, coordinating with your sellers, account managers, how the deal is going, what kind of value requirement they have as of now, and then looking at the data, doing research, getting your reports in place, analyzing the financial reports of a company, referring to analyst reports, coming up with relevant proof points. All of that becomes part of a effective value conversations. That's where I think that all of these skills and verticals are important for this discussion.
it is a pretty unique set of skills that are required because, you know, like you're alluding to, you need business acumen, financial, at least comfort with financial numbers, and financial calculations, right? It's not just about ROI, it could be IRR, it could be any number of calculations, and understanding which are the most relevant to different personas, I presume, within company. I guess it's something that you really learn on the job. It's not something that you could have, um, when you hire for this role, what is it that you look for?
Great question, and I've done the hiring exercise quite a few times, and there was one aspect that okay, let's go hire someone with a value advisory as a background, and maybe it's easier for them to understand how we do it here, and they'll learn quickly and start delivering an impact on things, right? But where I'm currently employed, with a limited number of employees, with a growing company, we have to showcase a lot of impact, right? It's always like a hustle mode on, and
Totally.
you have to like deliver on results time after time. So when I started looking for it, one of the aspects that I had in mind that the person should be comfortable maybe with the technical aspects of a little bit of coding that is required by a value management platform. The reason why I say that because I've seen the Excel and the presentation PPT way of working, and it takes a lot of time to just edit those numbers, and
Sure.
then there is a possibility of human error. You may have to be creative with a lot of decks and slides and repurposing of templates. And that was I mean, a time-consuming exercise. You can utilize that time to do something productive, or maybe create an analysis which is more compelling than the obvious one. And that's why I looked for that skill and alongside value advisory, and it was I think I was able to get one person who delivered on both the aspects of it, coming from solution consulting as well as an architect kind of a background, alongside doing some value advisory work. That helped me a lot. On the contrary, I also took a chance on hiring someone fresh from a B school or a college where I think all of these skills that we have learned, I mentioned finance, marketing, sales, all of that. So you can utilize those skills to learn how value advisory is done and start bringing in new ideas. So that has also worked out well. And eventually you also understand that how to use the tool or maybe create templates in a value management platform. So it's a mix of both that I look for. It's not just value advisory, but a little bit of technicality around value management platform. And of course, having a consulting mindset or advisory mindset definitely helps.
How do you partner with the sales to and what is a minimum ACV that your team will get involved with or contract value?
So currently we are working very closely with the sales team, and it's interesting that you mentioned the word partnering with them because exactly this is how a value advisory team helps a sales team or account management team to a larger extent, not by supporting the deals, but becoming a partner to like making it a conversion, right? More skin in the game, more stakes are involved, and that's where we can also be contributing in an effective manner. So currently we have automated our process that if a seller requires a help with the value advisory team, they can raise a request through CRM. It automates an email to us. It gets in our pipeline. We pick that up. We have a discussion with seller that what is required. We analyze the notes which are there in the CRM to define that, okay, out of 10 kinds of deliverable that we make, probably this one suits the best. And these are the sequence of things we are going to perform. The timelines look like XYZ. And then as a partner, we deliver the contextual business case with them, not just for new sales, but also for expansion and scenarios of value realizations are also there in bits and pieces. But yeah, that's how we work closely with sellers. So far, in like past 3 to 4 years, I believe sellers have been the source of learning for the value advisory team, right? Every seller will have a different problem to solve for, how they want to articulate value, which industry they are looking at, and that helps us shift our gears and create something which is relevant for upcoming deals and even for the deal that they are working on.
And what is the typical threshold of deal size? Because I can imagine, like with all companies we speak to, your resource is very dear, and it's there's only so much coverage of pipeline that you can provide. Where's the cutoff? And then when that cutoff is made, what do sales teams do when they can't get access to a value resource?
Okay, great questions, good problem to solve for. Uh,
Yeah, it means there's a lot of demand, right?
for sure, I mean, so there is a self-serve model that we have created for sellers to go for. There are simple templates that seller can utilize on a value management platform, do a basic ROI estimation. They can also download a one pager sort of thing which can be used in maybe top of the funnel. That's where they can drive some value-led conversation. There's a certification program that we have created for our sellers where they can go through the whole process of how the tool works. So there's a comprehensive version of our template. So that is being utilized for enabling them to be more self-serve and then ad address the deals which are maybe, let's say, lower dollar value, or if
Sure.
the team is not having a bandwidth. So that those kind of aspects are there, but in most of the scenarios, our team gets involved either in a review exercise or assisting them with the presentation. So that's there.
And what are the types of business challenges that get you excited when engaging with a new prospect? What is it that where value consulting really shines?
Right. I may have to think about it. There are a bunch of things which gets us in the mood that okay, this is a new problem to solve for.
Yeah,
Um, but I
there's
think
creativity, right? It requires a lot of creativity founded on facts, right? On numbers.
true, creativity is one aspect of it. And I believe that in any deal that is going on, you have to understand what business our prospect is in, right? And if you get it right, you start building a value analysis which is relevant for them, which a champion can take it to the decision maker, and which is easier for them to consume. So it's not just numbers, but it's telling a value story to them. So whenever I come across a deal where there's a value story to it, that's what gets me excited. When we have to uncover a value problem statement for them through discovery exercises and understanding, okay, what's happening? Tell me about the application or the challenges currently that you are facing, and having those follow-up questions and discovering that one insight which can drive the complete business case. So those kind of things excite me whenever I'm looking for these live analysis or the business cases.
And we talked about partnering with a sales rep, but how much cooperation does it require on the part of the prospect, and how forthcoming do you usually find them in this process with information?
Sure, I think it's all getting very operational from my perspective, but uh, in my observation, prospect doesn't want to be overwhelmed with a lot of research, coordination, reaching out to multiple teams, getting those data points which you require for a value analysis. One thing that I personally have followed is provide them as much outside in information as you can with valid sources before even you start gathering any data from them in an Excel or any input sheet or any value management platform. So it gives them confidence that okay, there is a benchmark, there is a reference to a McKinsey report, or maybe there's a latest a financial report of my company that is referred here. I think they've already done their research, provided me with some bit of information. All I need to do is validate these offerings. So reducing that friction of like reaching out to multiple teams, gathering data, and then starting with a value exercise is something that works wonders in
Sure.
my case.
And there must be, I guess, a considerable amount of prep work, right? Before even you have your first call with the prospect. Who does that prep work? Is it the BBC or the sales rep?
I think it's a mix of both. Seller are very much equipped with the information that we require in
Hmm,
the first stage. However, we take that up and further research more input or maybe facts which are required for having a conversation with the prospect. So it's a mix of both where a seller and a business value consultant is involved together to get the right data points. But initially, when you start a value team in any organization, it's more of a seller that has to help you out with those data points, with those facts and figures. And the business value consultant has to create a library of those information bits so that it can be reutilized at a later stage. So eventually I have seen that okay, seller has to just share two, three bits of information and we are good to go. We have all the data points available in our library. We utilize that to drive the value conversation.
Interesting. And do you find that when you are engaging with a prospect, because you come at it from a consultative perspective versus a sales rep, do you find them more open to sharing with you because it's almost a, oftentimes people will be a bit defensive when they're being sold to, whereas
Hmm.
if they're speaking with a consultant, maybe it's more of a therapeutic conversation.
Oh, sure. I believe then when you have a new face on call, and someone who is coming from an experience of doing business cases across geographies, across solutions, that's where you sound a little different to them. It's not the same sales conversation that you are having on call. And I believe in both my companies, sellers were very mature in terms of where to plug in a value conversation and then drive the next level of I would say discussion with the prospect. To an extent, I think everyone follows a sequence. They have their own style of selling. In my experience, a good seller who is value first in terms of their approach understand that when a value conversation will be required, when they understand, hey, budget is something like a constraint for us. Hey, I'm the champion, but I don't know that if my boss or my budget holder will be approving this for me. So, is there a possibility of doing a business case or ROI analysis? At times, they mention on call that we are creating a business case ourselves for our product. So that's where the seller brings in that, okay, you don't have to do it. We have a team who is dedicated to creating business cases and they can help you out with the analysis. And the response has been great because
Of
quite,
course.
I mean, the prospect, if they're creating a business case, they do have a template, but the calculation is very simple in terms of KPIs, probably handful of things that they want to analyze and present as a value. But when we go on a call, we open up that Pandora's box of KPI that, hey, you are looking at three KPIs, but you know what? We have 30 KPIs that we have already defined a library of, and you can handpick those that are relevant to you, and we'll build a case as per your priority. Whatever is a high priority or a top priority KPI that is included in the analysis. And quite a few times they are not even aware of that benefit from the product. Hey, I didn't think about this product from this lens. So that's a aha moment for them, and they also appreciate that how detailed the analysis is, and that it is led by someone who has expertise in this area.
Yeah, and it's all, a lot of the time, and correct me if you disagree, but your buyer may actually, it may be their first time buying your category of product. So there's a degree of sales of buyer enablement that needs to happen and guidance, right? And I would presume that in doing so, if you do it, then they're very grateful because you're helping them, because your champion has probably been tasked by an economic buyer, but by somebody further up to buy this category, buy a product, buy a solution. And they may not understand, where do I go? How do I start? What do I look for? How do I measure quality? How do I compare price between vendors if I don't understand the drivers?
Hmm.
How much of that part of the consulting because I presume it's an important part of also building trust and a relationship with your champion.
I believe when you reach that stage, there are more steps to be done prior to it, which
Hmm.
is like, let's say, showcasing demo of the product and on your instance, on your environment, how it can change your life. And how will it help you in larger scheme of things. Once they are convinced about what the offering is, what the product is, there is another angle of having analyst relationship report, right, from Gartner, Forrester, IDC, Everest Group, and all of that also acts as a proof point that the category is mature. We have a presence, we are one of the leaders, and these are the areas where we showcase an impact. There's a third aspect that we have done, like in 3 years of us doing the value analysis, we have authored a white paper for our category. Then it has all bunch of information in terms of how to identify there is a gap, right? And how our product addresses that gap. If at all you are able to address is what kind of value you can expect, what kind of KPIs you are going to unlock with our product, and with the benchmarks, with numbers, and not just for USA as a region, Americas as a region, but EMEA, Southeast Asia, India, all of that is included as a part of that white paper. So it does gives them confidence that okay, this it's not like a unknown or a new category to the world. Maybe it's new to me, but there is something that I can learn if maybe 300, 400 companies out there are already using this product. And if they are enterprise and large enterprise, it gives them more confidence that okay, that they are investing in this category. So I might be missing out on some information or maybe a product that I am not aware of. I don't know if I aptly answer your question over here, but let me know if I can add more color to
No,
it.
so no, no, that's fascinating. Thank you. Well, look, I do have a couple final questions for you. That's all right. Uh, in your experience in business value, who, if you've got mentors or who has been the best value consultant you've ever worked with?
Okay. I mean, that will be a difficult question to answer given that I've worked with quite a few value consultants out there. So I would say that in my experience of growing through a role of a value advisor, there's the person that I've worked with, Manoj Kumar from Adobe. So he helped me a lot. One of my again college seniors, Nitin Mahajan, and he again was like a mentor to me when I joined Adobe and helped
Hmm.
me learn the tricks of the trade. I came from a operating and a marketing kind of a background, and finance was okay to me, and the concepts that it had was very new, but they made it very simple for me to understand and then develop on my skills in this category. And again, in my current company, Diksha, she comes from a VMware background, so she is a really good value consultant who again has a skill of a value advisor, but also understand the technicalities of a value management platform. So I guess there could be a few more honorable mentions to this, but I would limit myself to these names.
No worries. Thank you. And same goes for sales rep. Who's the best sales rep you've ever worked with or partnered with?
So I've worked with a lot of sellers in my current company, and not just sellers but also account managers. But there are a handful of them who understand value really well, and they themselves do the job of value articulation in their deals to an extent that it makes my job easier to further work on any business case or any opportunity as such. But I would be calling out maybe one name from account management. So Vishal Mishra is there in Whatwix. So he's a great seller. He believes in traveling and meeting customers to unlock opportunities and believes in talking value in any conversation. There's Shashwat Singh and there's Shubham Bagdia. Again, these are like some good sellers that I've worked with. In fact, there's an anecdote with Shubham that I joined Whatfix like in month of August, and it was my first week there. he reached out that, hey, I need a business case with this opportunity which is there. Can you help me with that already? And I know that these are the data points that you would require. I've done my baseline research. So I said that, hey, Shubham, I know you're pretty excited, but I'm just getting onboarded with the HR team and trying to understand what the product is. But I would love to work with the business cases. But yeah, over a period of 3 to 4 years, I've delivered some good business cases and wins with these sellers, and I've learned a lot from them. So those are the
That's the
names I
best
can call out.
relationship. Those are the
Yeah, yeah.
best relationships when you mutually learn from each other.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me, working closely with sales is where you learn how to refine a value argument.
Mm,
That's where a lot of learning is. The more you are on field, the more skin in the game.
yeah,
That's how you can refine all those value offerings of yours.
sure. Actually, thank you so much for your time. I know it's a bit late for you, so really, really grateful that you made it.
Thank you, Martin. I'm glad that we finally had this conversation.
Likewise.
Great.
Likewise. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.